Buenos días, tardes y noches, clase de español 2. Welcome to Spanish 2. Our lesson is 2.3 for this week. This is the third paso of the segundo paso. Tercer paso del segundo capítulo. There we go. So the second or the third paso of the second chapter. Hopefully you are all understanding what we're working with over the last several weeks. Obviously a lot of verb conjugation. There is no significant change between what we were working on in the previous week and this week coming up as well. Excuse me. We'll be focusing in on conjugations of the verb estar, conjugating the verb llevar, a little bit discussing el tiempo. When we talk about el tiempo, we're talking about the weather, okay? Some weather expressions as well. We'll have just one slide that works with that a little bit, and then we'll jump into some vocabulary soon thereafter. So a lot of review, and let's go ahead and just dive right into it right now. Entonces, Español 2, Gramática 2.3, estar, llevar y el tiempo. Primero, estar. Remember that estar significa to be. This has to do with location, feelings, and emotions. So if you wanted to say, for example, I am sad, it would be estoy triste. If you wanted to say, for example, I am smart, you wouldn't use estar for that. You would say soy inteligente. So it's important to understand those differences between ser and estar, which is why we revisit this today. Estar has to do with where you are right now, how you are feeling, or what your emotional state might be. Okay, entonces, usando el verbo estar, yo estoy, I am. Tú estás, you are. Él, ella, o usted está, he or she is, or you formal are. Nosotros estamos, we are. Vosotros estáis, you all are, informal. Ellos están, or ellas están, or ustedes están. They are, or you all formal are. I get a few questions from time to time about the difference between estáis and están. This one can mean you all are, and this one can also mean you all are. So what the real question is, what's the difference between vosotros or ustedes? And vosotros is a way of saying y'all, kind of in a relaxed, informal sort of a way, whereas ustedes is more of a formal boardroom boss and worker sort of a situation, or maybe an elder speaking to someone else, or if you don't know someone on the street and you're trying to speak in a more formal tone, you would use usted, or excuse me, ustedes, as opposed to vosotros when speaking to a group of people. Individually, that difference would be between, say, tú and usted. So just a quick reminder of that also. El verbo estar. El verbo llevar, que significa to wear. Now this is actually just a regular AR verb, so not a whole lot special to it. But sometimes people forget this verb, and it's an important one for this chapter. So just looking at this regular AR verb again, yo llevo, I wear. Tú llevas, you wear. Él, ella, usted lleva, he, she, or you formal wear. I said formal wear. Okay, llevamos, we wear. Lleváis, you all wear. Ellos or ellas llevan, they wear, or ustedes llevan, you all wear. So, just conjugations of the verb llevar. Example, yo llevo una camiseta y calcetines cuando hace calor. I wear a t-shirt and socks when it's hot out. What an interesting sentence. Okay, la próxima frase. Llevamos chaquetas y botas cuando hace frío. So we wear jackets and boots when it's cold out. I think going back earlier on this one, I think maybe this was supposed to read chancletas, which is sandals, like t-shirt and sandals. That would make a little bit more sense. Interesting. Okay, moving on. El tiempo. Remember, now this is a bit of just review from Spanish 1, so I think that most of you will probably understand this reasonably well, at least when we look at it in vocab. Remember, we usually use the word hace and a general temperature adjective to describe weather. The literal translation is it makes. So what do you think hace refers to? Okay, let me give you an example. From your vocab phrase, you might see hace buen tiempo, or it's nice out. Well, the literal translation for that is it makes good weather. And so my question was, what does hace mean? What does it makes? What does the it refer to? That's going to be a classroom discussion item. Another one would be like hace mal tiempo. It's not nice out. Well, the literal translation is it makes bad weather. Again, what is that it? Anyone have any ideas for some root derivations? Maybe some linguistic evolutionary theory on that one? We'll play with that one during class. A little bit with vocabulary now. El vocabulario 2.1. This is your vocab phrases for chapter 2.3. Describing your city or town. First one, ¿Cómo es tu ciudad? What is your city like? El edificio, the building. En el centro hay, downtown there is. Estar cerca de, to be close to. Estar lejos de, to be far from. So cerca is close and lejos is far. And notice that I have verbs estar in here. Those would not naturally be conjugated when you're talking about the relationships of certain things to one another. For example, if I wanted to say that the supermarket is close to downtown, I would say el supermercado está cerca del centro, as an example. Grande is big. Mi ciudad es, my city is. So we just have a few sentence fragments here. Las montañas, the mountains. Mucho, mucha, muchos, or muchas. Obviously just an adjective. We just looked at this again in Spanish 1 not too long ago, the differences between mucho, cuanto, and poco. Even though they're all different words, and technically mucho, poco versus cuanto are different parts of speech, they follow the same process. All right, they still have to agree in gender and number, so you have that o, a, os, as ending to it. So, for example, if I want to say many buildings, I'd have to say muchos edificios. If I want to say a lot of people, I'd say mucha gente. If I want to say, for example, a lot of cars, I'd say muchos carros, and so on. El océano, the ocean. Poco is little or a few of something. There's actually 4 forms of that. Poco, poca, pocos, and pocas. El rascacielos, great compound word. El rascacielos is the skyscraper, and it's composed of 2 different things. El verbo rascar, which is to scrape at, and then the word cielo, which is the heavens or the sky. So literally translated, the heavens scraper. So I don't know, kind of interesting. Weather expressions, a little bit of what we were looking at earlier. Hace calor, it's warm out. Hace fresco, it's cool out. Hace frío, it's cold out. Hace sol, it's sunny. Hace sol. Hace viento, it's windy. Hace viento. El invierno is the word for winter. Invierno. Llueve, literally translated means it rains. It can translate to the phrase it's raining, but technically those are different tenses, okay? But llueve can mean either it rains or it is raining. We'll get more into that as we progress. Same with nieva. Nieva means it snows or it is snowing. El otoño, the fall or the autumn. La primavera, springtime. La primavera. ¿Qué tiempo hace? What's the weather out? The literal translation is, what weather does it make? Again, I go back to that question, what is the it that they're referring to? And then el verano is the summer. El verano. So we do have the 4 seasons on here. We have la primavera, spring, el verano for the summer. We have el otoño, which is fall, and el invierno, which is winter. So we have the 4 seasons. We have a few different weather expressions and a few other items thrown in there too. Most important one is just the question, right? Your active question for this unit is ¿Qué tiempo hace? What's the weather like? And a lot of what we do will sort of move us toward that. Es todo para el vocabulario y gramática 2.3. That is all for section 2.3. I'm hoping that you're getting an opportunity to view these in advance. If you have a good or decent printer at home where you can print out your vocab sheet in advance, get everything written down, you can bring that to class. It saves us time. It gives you an opportunity to process the material a little bit better and maybe formulate some questions in advance. I realize we don't go into a lot of depth with these videos, but the idea is to give you more time and give you the basics you need in case you either miss class or if you want to get ahead. So hopefully you're doing both of those things. Have a great day. We'll see you in class. Y ciao.